And good evening, everyone. Yes, you're seeing this title correctly. A couple was fined for flying the American flag. What? Happy 250th birthday, America. I am so excited to be part of this celebration. I just want you to go ahead and comment and let me know where you're going to be during the 4th. I'm so excited about what we're going to do, but I want to show you this before we get into this video and the new developments on the couple that was actually fined for putting up an American flag in their yard. Are you kidding me? What? Yeah, before I start into that,
and it wasn't that big.
Let's take a look at what's going on in my area. I cover Southern California. I report exactly what I see. And what I'm seeing around my area in Southern California is basically a big nothing. I mean, no decor, no merch, but check this out. We're at the South Coast Plaza. In the middle, they had the Lunar New Year. They're celebrating Chinese holidays, but we have our 250th anniversary. And this is what I'm seeing. It's not that. I don't know what that is, but empty, nothing, not even a flag, not even a USA flag. This is in Costa Mesa, California, in Southern California. What is going on? Nothing. And no stores have the gear. No stores have the USA theme merchandise. I can't find it except for Amazon online. That's it. Wow. Absolutely insane. So basically, this is a tourist destination. They call it the Plaza. It's owned by a Segerstrom family, and it has an annual income of $2.5 billion last time I looked. So they decorated for the Lunar New Year's, as I was just explaining, and they celebrate in February. So this is less than 5 months ago. Someone was saying in comments on my X account that it was because of malls are dead and they're empty. And yes, that is definitely a true statement. But they had all the money just less than 5 months ago to deck it out for the New Year, for the Chinese New Year. And I also want to add, they didn't celebrate we didn't have a New Year celebration there. So we can see the temperature of where we're going in America with certain, different states. And definitely this is, a problem. So we have here a couple that lives in San Diego and pretty much by Riverside. I'm sorry, not Riverside, Oceanside. And here they are again. This is what their home looks like. This is the size of the flag. We just saw it, right here a second ago. This got them in trouble and actually gave their homeowner association fined them for that. Yes, that tiny. I mean, the flag to me is not even that large, right? So this is Christopher and Amy Cook. They're standing near the flag in San Marcos, California. And so I want to just give you a visual here of this. This is not one that is like stretched across their whole freaking house. They don't have like 50 freaking flags. This is one flag here that is causing all this commotion. Okay. And basically, I just wanted to cover this and give you some updates. So this went national. Obviously, every news station picked it up, so you can just look this everywhere. But so basically, they have been proudly flying their flag outside their San Marcos, California condo. This is a condo for more than 20 years. But now their homeowners association is threatening them with $100 fine. So this is the point. This is absolutely just the point of the matter. And this is just for putting up this flag here. So they have basically said, no way. They made it clear they're not taking the flag down. and going on to say, and this is straight out of the LA Times that wrote this up, it's a symbol of freedom. She was interviewed by the Times and Fox News, and they were interviewed by a lot of stations. And so, what does it say to people, she goes on to say, who are risking their lives for our country, that we can't fly this flag? It makes me very angry. So this has been a fight between residents in this community. I even have someone on my Facebook page that lived there and that tells what she went through was pretty bad, and she ended up just moving out, and she gave me some information. So this is a fight between residents in the community, between it's Ambience Owners Association, and this began in 2024. So they passed some policy prohibiting flags, signs, banners, and so at the time they all thought that this was just putting up a Trump banner or a flag or some sort of political type situation. But they found out that no, they didn't want them to fly a U.S. flag outside the condo. So they are not going to take it down. Dave and I grew up in homes where they're going on to say, the couple said it was very patriotic. And it's a tradition. We know this is a tradition. Not only that, this is our 250th year of our nation. I mean, most nations don't even live this long. So this is really big. And that's why it's so upsetting to see what I've seen out there. So this goes on. They go on to say that they've had the flag out. No one is going to bully me, the wife said. So the Ambience Owners Association did not respond to a phone call seeking comment from the Times, from the LA Times, but in a memo circulated to residents back in 2024, they had, just told everybody that they were going to ban the flags. So, and it just goes on with some other information. And the development to the story that I wanted to tell you about was that they are going to continue to fight this, and they have started a fund, some sort of a GoFundMe, because they expect litigation and they expect a lot of costs. So isn't this ridiculous that they are in this place? So by May 2026, so that was just last month, the HOA issued Amy and Christopher Cook a violation notice alleging the American flag mounted outside their home violated the association's flag policy and directed them to remove it within 15 days or face enforcement action. And another person in the neighborhood also received violation notice. Maybe I can bring this over and let you see this here. Let me add this up. Oh, sorry. So maybe you can see who the other neighbor is, and then I can show you this as well, because this is it's so concerning. This is Terry Collins, who lives in the same neighborhood. She received a violation notice over the American flag displayed, and they're showing her home here as well. So it's just nothing out of the ordinary. Look, this is ridiculous. They're not going to bully us. They're not going to do this to people. And so she's fighting it as well. So they said the journey has been long and hard, and we are ready to put an end to it for once and for all, Collins told Fox News Digital. So Amy Cook told Fox News Digital the controversy began after another resident attempted to fly a San Diego Padres flag, prompting the HOA to visit its flag rules. And so this is all about all that. They're just the HOA is just trying to control things. I can see where this is going. And so they basically have said they have spent 2 years researching federal and California law. Isn't that ridiculous that they have to work this hard and gather like HOA records and go back and forth? And this is becoming a lengthy legal battle, this story goes on to say. So they launched an online fundraiser to help cover attorney fees. Can you believe this? This is in San Diego, down the street from Orange County. Give me a break. Court fees and other legal expenses if the dispute heads to court, and they must really think that it is. Cook said any money remaining after legal expenses would be donated to patriotic organizations or causes. supporting Gold Star military families. So this is just absolutely crazy. California law is clear. Homeowners associations may adopt reasonable rules governing the manner, placement, or safety of flag displays, but they cannot prohibit homeowners from flying the American flag on their property. So I think this is going to be a quick battle, and we need to definitely get involved in these local situations like that. I know that I've been really watching Spencer Pratt, and he has really started a movement calling out really the local people around us,
The
like the
left is so
local
ridiculous.
government,
I
city
honestly don't even
council,
have a word for it.
and even the homeowners association. I've had to get involved myself in the homeowners association where I live because of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to enforce. So I've had to, as busy as I am, stop everything I'm doing and get involved. They're trying to cut down all of our trees, even the ones that are protected, the sycamore trees, oak trees. I know they've cut down so many trees, and we are trying to stop them from doing some of these ridiculous things. I'm going to come over. Oh, hi. Thank you for watching, Terry from Minnesota. How's it going over there? And also, please let me know how you will be celebrating this 250th celebration. I want to show you one more video before I go. The new development, I just want to make sure you understand, is that they are not going to give up. They are seeking a fundraiser, looks like. I don't have those details. I'm not here to promote them or get that information. You know, we can look that up and everything. If you feel led, give to them. But it looks like they're going all the way to court if need be. And good for them, because when people stand up and take on cases like this, we all benefit. This is a beneficial situation for all of us as Americans, because we cannot be bullied no matter what it is. And so even though it's in a different state from maybe where you are, it matters, and it matters to get involved. So I'm going to show you, went out to the South Coast Plaza yesterday and did some more video. And I just wanted to show what's out there in the retail stores, because I've been so surprised to walk into pretty much Targets, Walmarts, and retail stores around me for them not to have any apparel, any American 250. I mean, everything's come right from Amazon. What I'm wearing here, it says USA on it. You just can't see it. It all came from Amazon or already had it. So I just wanted to show you this last video as I leave. And I also want to leave you with, make sure you celebrate and go out, and want to just specifically say God is with us. God bless America. And I also want to tell you that a local pastor here named Jack Hibbs, I'm sure you've heard of him. He had a major celebration this week, and I didn't know about it. And they had it at their church. I think it was Wednesday night. Was that just last night? And so there's lots of things happening in the body of believers, which is nice. So it's really great. So I'm going to play this next. And this is as close as you're going to get at Macy's. And this is the weekend of our 250th celebration of our nation. And this is what they're showing. This is all there is for the 4th. The closest maybe is here for the fireworks, a Levi shirt. Every single year, they always have had the most amazing displays in the middle, but not this year. And it just tells you where we are in America and just how fallen things have become. With fashion is always telling us what's in store. And here we are, it's summertime, and there's dark colors, blue, black, deep dark, like burgundy, brown. Ugh. I do like denim. I like denim a lot, but it's just really like, what in the heck is this? Really? Oh my gosh, this is so ugly. Yeah, so another disappointment in 2026. And fashion, I don't know. This looks like communism to me. All the non-color, all the dark, drab, brown, black, deep burgundy. I mean, you're not bad if you have these colors, obviously, but I'm talking about retail stores, and I keep going out, and I'm seeing other people film this too, where it's just so unattractive. The clothing is just so not appealing. Like, what happened to fashion? And usually in fashion, it tells a story a little bit ahead of time. I've noticed this, but we are still, it's summertime. You know, they shouldn't have a fall line out. They should have, hey, let's celebrate our nation here. And this is a major retailer, Macy's. So is it just my area? Please do tell me. Send your comments. Maybe you're not watching with me here live, but please do let me know. So anyway, we need to definitely reach out to Macy's and tell them, hey, we don't need this style here. We need, what happened to your colorful selections and your pretty dresses and stuff like that. So anyway, God bless y'all. Make sure to let me know where you're going to be for the 4th. We're going to a fun parade. So I'll be live there, and I'll actually record it and bring it back to you. So that's what I'm here for, is to bring you breaking news, fun stories, and let you see what's happening in my area. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow me, subscribe, like, and share my videos, and I'll see you soon. God bless America, and God bless you.
I agree with her. She's a good person if you get to know her. Absolutely a good person. There's a couple illegal truck drivers. They're illegals, and they're trying to race each other to the toll booth. Looks like they have propane. Isn't it insane? Absolutely insane. Yep. Crazy. I don't know. Oh, this is Machaba. Colony.
اصلا نمیشه باورم.
Breaking news, I bet Gavin Newsom is not sleeping so well at night, because it just came out that one of his appointees has been wearing an FBI wire since June 2024. Yeah, I'm sure Newsom and his wife are just beside themselves. It's kind of hard to sleep when you're sitting around wondering what the hell you have admitted to in front of someone that was actually a spy. I wasn't the only one that thought of that this morning, because that was my first thought when I saw that they were under investigation and this woman was wearing a wire, is that Newsom and his wife are probably literally racking their brains trying to remember everything they said around her for years. I just realized I look like a character from Whoville. I'm doing my hair, but I was too excited not to post. Alexis Podesta, I'm not a big fan of that last name, but she's been one of Sacramento's most influential behind-the-scenes power brokers for years, the kind of political insider whose name rarely makes headlines despite her fingerprints being all over California politics. Now she's become one of the FBI's most valuable witnesses after wearing a wire as part of a probe that took down Governor Gavin Newsom's former chief of staff, Dana Williamson. Explains why a bunch of Sacramento political insiders and lobbyists were receiving FBI letters last fall, if you guys remember all of that going down. This woman has infiltrated California politics, Gavin Newsom's inner circle, and a lot of people may be about to go down. I can't wait to find out what the FBI has on Gavin Newsom, because if you'll remember recently, they admitted that he's been under investigation since the Biden administration. But I, for one, am excited to see Gavin Newsom potentially at least be indicted. What do you guys think?
Handcuffs. Here's some more on it. Benny Johnson talked about it too.
Okay, now things are really starting to get interesting. And Gavin Newsom released a couple weeks ago a video of him crying on camera. You can see the tears flowing down his cheeks, announcing that he's under federal investigation, multiple federal investigations. We learned that originated from inside of his office. He also declared that Donald Trump is attacking his wife and he needs to leave my wife alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, okay, that's exactly what Harvey Weinstein's victims said when your wife was facilitating those exciting interactions. And we know in court that your wife was actually part of the criminal enterprise that Harvey Weinstein was running. She admitted to all of it. In fact, the jury found her complicit. And then you married her, which is really weird, bro. Anyway, the point is that Gavin Newsom is a dirty scumbag. He's lying about everything here because Joe Biden actually began this investigation into Gavin Newsom. We just learned something remarkable about this investigation that will blow the lid off of everything. Gavin Newsom's cooked. And this is probably why Gavin Newsom, over the last 24 hours, I just checked his timeline, has released like infinity videos of him attacking President Trump and talking about how great he is and talking about things that Fox News won't cover. Crime is down across the board. Yeah, dude, we're deporting all of your murderers and rapists and criminals. That's why crime is down across the board. And ladies and gentlemen, the FBI has been arresting a lot of Californians, including the guy who just threatened to kill my family. He was from California. He's pled guilty and now is rotting in federal prison. Anyway, we found out that there are several investigations into Gavin Newsom, and they're focused on his wife's access and his former chief of staff. So we learned this last week. Gavin has been panicking, and now we officially know why. It's not because Donald Trump's being mean to him. It's not even because all of this started under Joe Biden. It's because his own staffers were wearing an FBI wire to nab him, and they got the goods, dude. Look at this. The FBI have an informant wearing a wire for years in Gavin Newsom's office. Look at this. Joe Biden started the investigation into Gavin Newsom. Lots of Democrats need to issue apologies on this. Let's go ahead and read. FBI infiltrated Gavin Newsom's inner circle by convincing governor's strongest ally to wear a wire, according to the lawyers. Look at this. The FBI had a mole inside of Gavin Newsom's political orbit before the agency's corruption probe expanded to the governor and his wife. Democrat insider Alexis Podesta, 45, secretly recorded conversations during the criminal probe into Gavin Newsom's then chief of staff, Diana Williamson, who pled guilty to federal tax fraud and tax charges. So they got her to plead guilty. Now, federal prosecutor friends of mine who know how these cases work, guys who have prosecuted federal cases for 40 years, tell me that when you have somebody this high up that's pleading guilty to tax charges and federal fraud charges, these are lesser charges for like the grand conspiracy charges that could put you away for decades. Why would they charge somebody on lesser charges? They're giving up the bigger fish. They're giving up the larger tunas to the feds. The reason why Gavin Newsom's chief of staff would plead guilty, because that's, of course, a horrible news day for them. That's the end of their career. That's the end. That's a really bad that happens to Gavin Newsom. The reason why they would plead guilty is because they have taken a side against Gavin Newsom in a federal probe, and that they're going to give up now Gavin Newsom and his entire operation. And that is presumably what's happening here, as we have now learned that the feds had demonstrable evidence against Gavin Newsom and his team because they have it all on tape. The revelation that she was wearing a wire from far back as June 2024. Hold on, June 2024? Who was president in June 2024? Was it Orange Man bad? Is it Donald Trump? Is it No King's Trump? No, it's freaking Joe Biden. But also, who was running for president in 2024? It was Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom have a blood feud that goes back a very long time. And I think that people need to start understanding that that's actually going to be the ball game. for Democrats in the year 2028. It's going to be Gavin versus Kamala. Obviously, AOC and the Democrat Socialists are going to have a big part in this, but the two heavyweights that could actually like hold it down are going to be Kamala and versus Gavin. So you see AOC is spiking here. Kamala Harris at 6%, Gavin Newsom at 20%. Gavin Newsom's chances are collapsing right now. Let's go ahead and continue the read. Alexis wore a wire.
Once the handcuffs go on, they'll collapse a lot more.
Said McGregor Scott, Williamson's lawyer and former U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of California, who's now investigating Gavin Newsom. Whoa. Sacramento political insiders and lobbyists were stunned.
Definitely will throw a party once he goes to jail.
To receive FBI letters last fall informing them that their phone calls had been intercepted during the investigation, despite many having little to no connection with Williamson because she wore a wire. Yo, dude, you are cooked, bro. The disclosure comes as Newsom announced last month that he and his wife, whose nonprofit had been burning money in recent years, as well as members of the governor's inner circle, are under federal investigation. Within hours of that announcement, Newsom blasts out an email to raise money. Assembly member Josh Hoover told the Post that among those who received one of the letters, even though he has never spoken with Williamson or Podesta. So he received a letter saying that he had his phone calls grabbed up. Well, the reason why this is important is because you have the third-party jump factor, right? Where if the individual who's wearing the wire has any type of connection to you at all, or somebody you know, then the FBI can begin to spy on you. Now, you can argue whether that is a massive violation of our privacy in this country, but Patriot Act, that's just the way that these things work. And it's too bad. I think it should be argued in court, but this is how they got Trump. This is how they rolled up the Carter Page. So they had like the third part, like somebody had somebody who was being spied on by the FBI, or they were being surveilled by the FBI, had a contact with Carter Page, and they were able to just jump on over there and start spying on him. So if they were able to do this with Gavin Newsom and his organization, then you got everybody, man. Wow. A separate source with knowledge of the matter said that they knew 4 Sacramento insiders who also received FBI notifications confirming them that they had been recorded. One recipient told the source, dude, I got this effing letter. I never even met with Diana Williamson. The curiosity was that they never even met with Diana Williamson. Yeah, dude, you don't understand the Patriot Act, man. As long as you have a connection to someone she knows, they can start spying on you. That's how Orwellian things are. But hey, listen, man, this is what they used against Donald Trump. And now they're using it against Gavin Newsom. This is really something else. Their curiosity was that they never even met Diana Wilson. So they're wondering what this is all about. And now you have the answer. It's about Gavin Newsom. The governor publicly accused Donald Trump of directing the Justice Department to investigate him as political retaliation. Trump previously called for Newsom's arrest. The sources familiar with the matter told the Post the federal investigators have spent years digging into not only Newsom, but his wife's taxes. Sybil Newsom accused Trump of having no boundaries. Whistleblowers reportedly tipped off the feds to launch the probe into Newsom. Whistleblowers from inside of Gavin Newsom's office. Dude, Chief of Staff has been wearing a wire on behalf of the FBI for years. He's cooked. Before people claim it's Trump, this all started under Biden, which we all know is the Kamala Harris investigation. Ooh, baby. You are going to prison. Just got worse. You revealed today that the Democrat insider Newsom appointee, Alexis Podesta, secretly wore a wire. Yo, this is going to be bad. Could it be that this is what Spencer Pratt was talking about when he announced that he has information that's going to bring down the entire system in California? Secret recordings is what Spencer Pratt said. Is this what he was talking about? Just a reminder. Baby, they're cooked. Here's Spencer Pratt announcing the secret recordings that will bring down all of California.
We have some recordings of one of your exalted candidates doing and saying something that would make her resign in shame. I was saving it for the general election. Go ahead and pick your demon, certify your choice, and then you get to see it. So Karen Nithya, ask yourself, is it possible that one of your employees may have a recording of you doing or
I'd like to see California at least go purple.
saying something that would force you to resign in disgrace? Hope you sleep well at night over the next 5 months, because you know who hasn't slept well at all for the last 17 months? My mom. All my neighbors in the Palisades, all the moms who worry about their kids walking past drug addicts in front of their schools, all the business owners getting crushed in the LA economy, worried that they can't stay in business and feed their kids. Angelinos have been struggling for years now, all while corrupt politicians and fraudulent NGOs profit off the misery and fleece us for the tax dollars. Well, now we're flipping the script. I want all of you awake at night sweating and worried about 5 a.m. when the FBI blazers bust in the door, breaking open your office, because I assure you, they're coming. You think your election was going to stop me? If you want to stop me,
you're gonna have to fucking kill me!
Well done, well done, well done. Anyways, okay, moving on.
If the Iranian regime were to fall and Iran were to become a pro-Western, open, democratic society, it would also become a very prosperous society rather quickly. It has tremendous natural resources, the oil, it has a huge landmass, and a very enterprising and educated population. The other Arab countries in the area, they do not want the Iranian regime to fall. Iran actually has the lowest percentage of mosque attendance of any Muslim country. It's actually quite a secular country with a rapidly growing underground church. If it were to become a free, open, prosperous society with Christianity flourishing, that would pose a grave threat to all of these Muslim countries around it who repress and push down Christianity, who don't have free elections, who don't have open societies. If Iran were to become that open society, it would become the regional superpower.
I guess that's why I get the most amount of hate comments on my video about Pahlavi. They're just so threatened by this guy.
Jajifa, Javisa, Shah. That's what they go. Little Katie Hopkins.
Breaking news here in batshit bonkers Britain, where finally we have the defence plan for the UK. We waited 9 months for it to be released. It's been delayed, and there's still a £4.7 billion shortfall in the funding, a massive black hole the size of David Lammy's head. That will be for the eyebrows in the black t-shirt Andy Burnham to find if ever he does turn up from Manchester. In this defence plan, we are going to be relying on drone technology, and we seem to have acquired a bunch of second-hand drones on vintage from a dodgy Chinese firework display. So that's all going to be perfect. In other news, whites at universities here in the UK, they are underrepresented at 80 of the 147 universities and are in a minority at 20 of the 147.
It's because of the free money they hand out to the illegals so they can go to college.
Universities here in the UK. I don't know if you can imagine the kind of DEI contortions you have to go through to exclude bright, white, young people, but it is always the case that ethnic minorities are protected just as long as they aren't white. And finally, darlings, the Bayeux Tapestry on display here in the UK for the first time. It costs 33 quid to go and see it, but it's in one long piece. Let me tell you this, young people, there are 93 penises on the Bayeux Tapestry. A lot of them are horses, some of them are the horses' riders, and it's thought that the more higher up you were in the hierarchy, the bigger your knob was. So it turns out 11th century needleworkers loved a knob gag as much as the rest of us. There is another replica at Reading Museum that you can see for absolutely free, but the Victorians found the Bayeux.
England played a good game, I guess, last night. You must have stayed up real late to watch it, though. I guess they won over Mexico 3-2.
Tapestry, very rude, and so they put little pants on the people. Oh, my darlings, here is a chicken that I did in my needlework class at school. Gifted and talented. That's it, darlings. Batshit bonkers Britain.
Here's a little more of Katie Hopkins. They hate her, the thing. I'm going to be playing about England, Colin. They're trying to cause YouTube and other platforms to censor all the videos. that it only puts up BBC type stuff in that. I'll show you later when more people come on. But I'm going to play a little bit more Katie Hopkins.
I believe there will come a time not too far from now when the British people, true British people, will have to make very difficult choices.
I agree.
Either they will flee eastwards to Eastern Europe with our much more stronger Christian neighbours, Poland, Hungary, those countries, or they will seek asylum, flee, try to come to America, or they will stand their ground. But certainly the time of the Crusades will need to come again if we are to return.
What do you mean by that?
We are overrun in every way, in every sense. Demographically, all births, Muslim births outnumber births to every and all other religion. This is no commentary on anyone's religion. This is just pure fact. Our mayors who control funding in our capital cities are Muslim. Mosques,
it's all part of their plan of takeover,
are not churches. A mosque is being...
And the thing that sucks is our leaders are part of it.
Built at the outermost, tippy-most end of Scotland and at the furthermost reaches at the end of the other side of our tiny country. This is about a takeover, and then the minute they get into power, there's change. Oh, let's change this. Let's take the prayer out. Let's have head dresses and headscarves. Let's change stuff. Keep pushing. So we will, in time, fall in some way, and we will have to fight to get freedoms back. And
yeah, that's part of their plan, though. Our leaders are working with them.
Social Security is going bust with the so-called trust fund running out in just 6 years. Never Trumper Rhino Bill Cassidy has a solution. He wants to turn the federal government into a mega venture capital fund run by 535 lobbyist bought retards in Congress. What could go wrong? After Congress pissed away 91 years of Social Security surpluses, lovingly replaced with IOUs known as Treasury bonds, even the IOUs are about to run out, with the Congressional Budget Office projecting $9 trillion of deficits coming for us, which would imply a 20% cut to Social Security benefits. A new bipartisan plan, well, a Rhino and a couple Dems, would fix this by borrowing another $1.5 trillion for the federal government to invest in the stock market. Well, actually in individual companies. Now, the grain of sanity here is that stocks have historically done about 7% after inflation. They've actually done closer to 12 in the past decade, thanks to the Fed pumping investments at the expense of inflation for the plebs. Meanwhile, the IOUs that make up Social Security's trust fund have returned just 1.7% after inflation since 1957. The difference between 1.7 and 12 is your money doubles every 7 years, compound across a career, and your Social Security check would be 9 times bigger. The average check would be $18,000 per month if it had been invested like a 401k instead of siphoned off by Congress and replaced with IOUs. So Cassidy wants that 12%. Of course, the kicker is it's not 12% when the morons in Congress are running the fund on behalf of donors, activists, and NGOs. In fact, studies have found government management reduces returns 5-fold, to the point you're still playing the casino, but the returns are crawling. The reason being government is corrupt and hands money to donors and political pet projects like Mega Solar, which has lost billions, synthetic biofuels, which has lost billions, Boeing and Lockheed's money holes, ethanol, 100 billion trains to nowhere. In other words, hand $1.5 trillion to Congress and you won't get 12%. You'll be lucky to get anything. Happily, there is a solution. It's not even exotic. It's called a 401k. Unlike Social Security and unlike Cassidy's dumb plan, you keep the money and you keep the gains. In fact, 401ks have been a spectacular success, racking up over $10 trillion in retirement savings since 1984, while Social Security careened into bankruptcy. So instead of borrowing another $1.5 trillion for Congress to waste and fraud, simply allow Americans to invest their own Social Security payments, just like a 401k. In fact, if Americans had been doing that since the 401k started, they'd currently have another $20 trillion instead of a bankrupt system. That sounds goofy. Consider Singapore, whose Social Security system does run like a 401k. You keep the money and the returns. The system now has over $500 billion of assets controlling for population. That is almost precisely 20 trillion. So as next brought to you by the Bitcoin Way, turning Social Security into a 401k could add enough that the average Social Security check would be many times larger. Instead, the Uniparty wants to use Social Security bankruptcy as a human shield to buy a $1.5 trillion slush fund. Personal accounts like 401ks make you an owner. A Congress-run slush fund puts you on a plane flown by 535 people who don't know how to fly. Follow for daily videos. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Yeah, they basically want to get rid of the middle class. That's their goal. They want an upper class and lower class, and they can control the lower class, and they'll just be part of the upper class. Now, over in England, these cops are ridiculous. This guy's getting beat up by three illegals, and the cop comes in and arrests him. He ends up taking a swing at her because he was still taking swings at them at the time when she rushes in. Watch this. I got a bunch of little short clips on this. There's one guy against all of them. And the cops come and arrest him. I got a bunch of clips on this. Isn't this ridiculous? Watch, there's more on this.
What the fuck, bro? I'm trying to go. No, you're gonna watch the fucking car, you dick. What the fuck, bro? Please, I'm trying to go home.
He was just trying to go home, and then he gets attacked, and then she comes and does that. There's a lot of funny clips.
Get in the fucking car. I'm telling you now. Get in the car.
In the fucking car.
Put your legs in. Get out. Get out.
Yo!
Yes, I will give you everything. I will give you everything. I will give you everything. I promise you. I'm a little bit as well. I will give you everything. Listen.
All right, here's a little longer clip on it.
In his defense, he probably thought you were one of the attackers.
Right.
I'm trying to move that way, bro.
What?
You just fucking punched me in the face.
My nan's actually. I'm trying to move that way, bro. What the fuck? Gee, what the fuck, bro? Gee, I'm a nan's ashes. I'm trying to move that way, bro. They're trying to fucking smack me up, bro. What the fuck you want, huh?
Excuse me. They've had 3 men on him, so...
Gee, I'm a little brother's life, bro. What the fuck? I'm trying to go home, bro. What the fuck? I'm trying to go home, bro.
What, put your arm straight.
Oh, it's your blood, I know.
I'm trying to go home.
Doesn't it though?
What the fuck? Gee, please.
There's a lot of comedy skits. When I do my video just for laughs, there's a lot of people have made memes on this, and they're really good.
So please.
Please, I'm trying to go home. Please, I'm trying to go home. No, please, I'm trying to go home.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the car.
Gee, what the fuck, bro? I'm trying to go home.
No, you're gonna watch the fucking car, you dick.
What the fuck, bro? Please.
Telling you now, get in the car.
Listen, in the fucking car.
Put your legs in.
Hey, Marianne.
What's your fucking behaviour about?
Punch you in there.
No, please.
You do anything, you get dropped. You understand?
That's fine, I'll give you everything.
Anything on you that's going to hurt any officer? No? You've got anything on you?
That's fine, I'll give you everything.
Someone clotheslined him, and then someone hit him from behind, and that's when you went in. And all I can say in his defence, he probably thought you were one of the attackers at that moment.
Okay. So somebody's assaulted him first?
Yeah. Okay. I'll jump.
Well, you're not the liar, are you?
Unbelievable. And he has to have a record and all that kind of stuff. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I presumed you were.
I was waiting for the conversation to get to that point. Ultimately,
It's more of a just so you're aware, as opposed to a insinuation or accusation. Are you aware that if you schedule a protest outside the councilman's house, it's an offence?
I haven't scheduled.
But are you aware of that then? Yes or no? If not, I'm happy to read out the legislation to you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hold
you
on.
are.
Whoa. I haven't scheduled any protests.
I'm not saying you have. I'm saying, are you aware that?
All right, we know where this is going. All right, carry on.
Okay, lovely. Just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Section 162 of the Crime and Policing Act 2026.
Bear in mind, I was in the Bell and Crown, nowhere near his house.
What are you talking about? Today, you mean?
Now or anywhere.
Okay. This is just raising awareness.
Okay.
That's literally what it is.
We're using the fear tactics, but carry on.
Not at all.
Oh, we are.
Not at all.
Well, not we, you. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, feel free to decide. I'm just going to read out the legislation to you or no?
Right, okay. Yeah, I'm aware. Okay. So,
and are you aware that what you have been doing, you posted, let me finish, the posting of going past certain people's houses.
Posting what, sorry?
Posting going past their houses.
Whoa. No, I have not posted going past anybody's house.
On live stream?
No.
Okay. Have you not posted?
No.
And no.
Have
you not posted, say, the fact he lives very nearby to a certain...
That's right.
What I'm trying to say...
Hold on, look how many houses. Right, let's just go. Look how many houses there are here.
2 seconds. This is not an accusation again. That's why
Right, mate, you're being used as a hard man to scare. That's what you're being used as.
I'm trying to have an adult conversation with you.
No, and that's the way it normally goes.
I'm having an adult conversation with you. I said to you and your mate,
yeah.
It's up to you if you want to listen. So.
No, I'm listening. Okay. I'm listening. I know how you work. So carry on.
How I work,
because you're threatened.
They're talking about this incident that happened with the cops arresting the teenager.
Because I can't.
And immediately they go after the teenager because he was the white one. That's why.
Councillor.
I'm not threatening you at all. I'm giving
the conversation
advice.
is a threat. Just you turning up in 2 police uniforms is a threat. If you turned up with a jacket on and you weren't coppers,
I don't work in
I realise that.
If I did, 100% that would be the case.
Do you know what I've done? Do you know what I've done with the police? Let me tell you the last conversation I had with police officers was, my daughter lives on a boat, okay, on a canal near here. She has a window smashed in at night at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Smashed in. I was next to her. I live on a boat. Rung the police, smashed in. She's in fucking bed. She's 24, yeah? Smashed in a few weeks ago, literally a few weeks ago. Rung the police. I got her to, I don't bother with the police anymore. So she rung the police. Do you know what they said to her? Nothing we can do, mate. It's happened now.
That's unfortunate.
Nothing. That's what you always say. That's what police always say. Literally. Please let me say this. Bang! Fucking woken up. I woke up in a boat next to it, him smashing glass. I said, "Are you all right?" Rings me in tears. Some cunt has smashed her window in. Literally. So she's where you are.
No.
All right. It's not.
No, I thought it was.
She's lying where you are. This is a window smashed in. Glass all over her, everywhere. Yeah. Glass. Anyway, got her out, run the police. Sorry, no, nothing we can do. Right, there's a boat on a phone. Nobody bothered coming out. Of course they didn't. You only come out to threaten. So, no. So a 24-year-old girl who lives by herself, no, we can't do it. It's happened. I quote, there's nothing we can do, it's happened. You are now here, so that's a girl who's fucking had a window smashed in when she's asleep at 2, 3, 4, I can't remember.
Yeah.
You are fucking threatening me because a counsellor has gone, Alistair has made me look like a cunt. Yeah, Alistair has made me look like a silly Billy. Yeah. And you've gone, right, we'll fucking have him, we'll threaten him, and he won't be an issue to you. Do not say I've walked up and down here. I've lived here for years. walk up. My job is a photographer. I've walked up and down. I've taken pictures. You two are here to threaten me. Why wouldn't you turn out for a girl who's had a smashed window?
You're having an argument about something that's different.
No, it's always the case. And it's always, no, that's different from this. How much threat is he under?
Would you like to listen?
This is how it always goes. Carry on. Carry on.
We're moving away from the issue, but your qualm, your issue, sounds like it's from the controller who's taken the phone call. It wouldn't have, if it's been through the phone, they've said to you, whatever they've said to you, that means it wouldn't have been passed down to us at all.
So, he's rung you personally, has he? Has he rung you personally then?
That's the point I'm trying to make to you. If it's made it through to us and we hear it, then that's a difference. That's an issue you're raising.
So it's not even a current fucking threat. It's not even a current threat. I'm having. No, of course you can't. It's not a current threat. I'm in a pub. Of course you don't. We go round in circles. You don't understand the threat. There's no threat when I'm sat with a friend in a pub.
I've not said anything about a threat.
So how has he got direct to you? What's your direct number that he can get to you and I can't?
If you want to raise it with the commissioner, feel free to.
Oh, it's a waste of space. Talking to the police is a waste of space. What I'm trying to establish is, what is your action? What's your action? What are you accusing me of?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm having a conversation.
So you're not accusing me, but you're spending, two constables are spending time advising me.
Just let me finish the conversation and then you can go back inside. At that point, we're wasting no time.
Carry on.
Just be aware, again, that your behaviour that I have seen on certain posts could, and listen to the words I'm saying.
So they're after him to send people out for something he posted online.
Could be construed as harassment.
Incredible. Incredible.
Just so you understand, that is going to be the end of the
You certainly can't say anything against Islam.
Harassment.
That can be the end of the conversation.
So what have I got to do? Keep my fucking mouth shut?
That's what I'm saying.
Is that what you're saying?
Be mindful.
Keep my mouth shut.
Did I say those words?
I'm asking you what your advice is.
Be mindful that certain things when you walk past someone's house.
No. Oh, whoa. I deliberately didn't get his house in any video or post.
Okay.
Show me the post. Show me where his house is in.
Again, if it was down to the point of where I'm saying to you, this has happened, and I'll be warning you for harassment, I'll be taking you to the police station. This is a conversation.
This is about the councillor. Anyway, I'll explain later.
Anyway, I think the point is that they're doing their job. They're being polite and courteous. So I think that you just need to
I appreciate where your frustration is, and unfortunately, and I've been doing it a while. I know where the frustration lies. A lot of the time, when you've called police, I don't know if you've had the same issue, when you don't get the response you want. A lot of the time, it's not about. It's not a case we don't want to hang out, because you're looking at a case of a phone call's gone through. If it's gone through, if it's come through to us,
I think there's a huge amount of discretion involved. I mean, like being objective. At the end of the day, they have to do their job.
Do you see? It's like, for example, being angry at a cabbie for not coming out to pick you up. I know it's downplaying it. Being angry at a minicab for not picking you up because the dispatch didn't dispatch you. Do you see what I mean?
Just one thing, I would say, and I'm not even privy to the conversation, but what I would say, as a man of the world, is that there are people out there who will say certain things, and people who are public servants are obliged to act upon that, and therefore, even if that thing hypothetically were to be incorrect or from a wrong place or motivation was malign, that's not on them. They have to be objective and investigate or whatever it is. So my view, I'm not even privy to the conversation, but you can't shoot the messenger if somebody has to make a message clear, and therefore I don't even know what's been said, but don't shoot the messenger. That's what I'd say. And if their point is to be objective and uphold the law, so I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I moved away from everyone else.
It's not personal.
I'd rather not have this within earshot, because I presume you'll get annoyed about it, and I'd rather this not having a conversation.
Your duty bound to act upon whatever's been said.
I'd rather this not be a conversation where everyone else hears snippets and go, "Oh, is this true? Is that true?" Or whatever it is. I'd rather have a conversation outside of what I've done. I've tried to be as dignified as I could be. Can we appreciate that at least? Can we? Yeah? You going to say anything at all? Or? No. Right, okay. We'll leave you to it.
What was this about? What was this about? What was this about? What? Why have two coppers come to speak to me?
As opposed to, you specified 2 coppers as opposed to how many?
As opposed to no coppers.
We've been made aware of posts on Twitter anymore, is it? X, where you have spoken about someone's house, not the actual address.
Correct.
Whereabouts
Deliberately not the address.
Giving descriptions of where it was. Again, not said the address.
Nobody could pick the address from here. Look how many houses there are.
Described it, and it's on the line where it could become personal. Hence the reason why.
And I deliberately made sure it wasn't.
This is why.
Deliberately made sure it was under that line. Deliberately. Deliberately.
I appreciate that.
Because I know. Oh, good. So you've looked at it and it's under the line.
This is why the conversation.
So this is what's interesting. When there is a crime, like my daughter having a window smashed in while she's asleep 3 feet away, 2 feet away, nothing. When there's a thing that you've looked at and you've said it's under the line, i.e. not criminal.
It's near the line.
I don't care if it's near, under, little bit. So the point is, it's not over the line, so it's not a crime. So it's not a crime.
You're going back to the fact of.
I'll try to hit the keys later.
So 2 people have turned up for something that isn't a crime, whereas no people turned up.
I don't understand why we keep going.
All right, a copper. 1 million coppers, 2 coppers.
We're dispatched in 2s.
Right, a copper of any description has turned up.
I don't run in circles. I don't want this to become a conversation that has no end. I'm simply here saying
it shouldn't have had a beginning.
Just be mindful.
It shouldn't have had a beginning.
Or not, it's up to you. I'm going to leave before this goes to anything else. All right? I appreciate
you've been and you've threatened, and that is what this is about. No, you've actually said I've looked at your tweets. None of them broke the law, but I've turned up.
I'm going to go around in circles. I was hoping for a handshake and a walk off.
Oh, that is not happening. No chance. No chance.
That's how you got to act with them. You can't back down with them. You're going to keep posting in this. And this pertains to this next video. This guy's pretty good. He's talking about YouTube and other things. UK and other European Union countries are going after him, trying to force them to censor us. What they want to do is use the algorithms so our posts are not seen. And so only the BBC and stuff that are government funded posts are seen, and videos and stuff on YouTube. They want to make it so that ours are not seen. We can do them, but they're not going to be seen over there. And not just YouTube, but all the social media places. They're trying to go after him. He's going to talk about it, and they're just supposedly going to have a referendum or something on that stupid thing. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this morning we have a massive free speech alert coming from none other than, you guessed it, the United Kingdom. They call it Great Britain. Now we got to call it the once Great Britain. Not so much anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. Coming out this morning, a message from YouTube to all of its content creators has been verified. This message from YouTube coming out this morning is warning that the United Kingdom government is attempting to force YouTube to push forward legacy media outlets to YouTube viewers like the BBC, ITV, and Channel 4. These are British public legacy media outlets. The United Kingdom government wants YouTube to push these outlets instead of independent journalists and independent political commentators. Now, I want to be...
So they're not going to go by who gets the most likes and the most views. They're going to push the stuff that they're told to push. That's all they're going to be allowed to do.
Very clear here. This is not YouTube doing this. This is the British government leaning on YouTube, pressuring YouTube to try to do this. YouTube, actually, credit to them, YouTube sent out this message to all types of YouTube commentators and YouTubers saying this. This is a message from YouTube here. They say, The United Kingdom government is running a public consultation called Watch This Space, a new strategic direction for United Kingdom media, is what it's called. The proposals coming from the British government include mandatory changes to how content is discovered on YouTube. This could direct audiences away from your channel. My channel, I suppose. As a YouTube creator, this directly impacts your future. Digital content discovery works best when driven by user choice, not by legal requirements. This is a vital window for you to share your perspective before the consultation closes on August 31st, 2026. Folks, YouTube is actually requesting that YouTubers like me, like us, like everybody, speak up and get vocal and push back against the British government. YouTube is begging us for help. That's what this is. Their message to the public goes on to say, impact of Britain's new proposed rules. The proposed new rules include a mandatory prominence regime. This could require digital platforms like YouTube to prioritize and give a privileged position to traditional broadcasters like the BBC and ITV and Channel 4 in user interfaces and recommendation feeds, potentially pushing your independent content out of sight. Mandating prominence to traditional institutions will impact all other independent digital creators, production companies, and independent companies, including through your content will get downranked. Pushing this group forward, the British government-approved media group forward, means pushing everyone else downward. Mandatory prioritization on YouTube of broadcasters would affect how your content reaches your audience.
Mandatory. Not by the algorithms, not by what people want to see. It's what they're going to be spoon-feeding to you. They're going to have control of it. And then they'll turn up the screws once they get their foot in the door.
Regardless of what your audience actually wants to see. Can I pause here?
That's why they want to shape the narrative. Like when that guy got stabbed by the Sikh.
Maybe some people don't really understand the nuance of how YouTube works. YouTube has a recommendation algorithm that really is pretty simple. Depending on how many people click on your video on the homepage of YouTube, and then depending on how long that person watches your video, YouTube says, okay, this is a popular video. This is a good video because people are clicking it and people are watching it for an extended period of time. That means we're going to continue to promote that video because people seem to like it. But inversely, if I, for instance, upload a video and not that many people click on it, and the people that do click on it don't really watch it for very long, then YouTube gets the feedback. They say, okay, this is really maybe not a very good video. Not many people are clicking it, and not many people are watching it for very long. So we're going to kind of stop promoting that video. That's how YouTube works. That's how the YouTube recommendation algorithm works. And so what the British government is coming out here and saying, they're saying, YouTube, that entire sort of user feedback-based recommendation system, we want you to scrap that. Instead, we just want you to force our approved media in front of YouTube viewers, regardless of whether or not they even want to see it, regardless of whether or not they click it, regardless of whether or not they watch it for an extended amount of time. You just need to shove it there in front of everybody's eyes. That is what the British government is saying right now. YouTube goes on to say, this change would also reduce user exposure to diverse content and independent creators. Mandating prominence like this, or British government approved news outlets and media networks, would push the diverse mix of independent journalists, educators, and digital-first businesses further down. This would be a threat to channel growth. Your ability to organically grow your community, generate views and revenue, and build a sustainable business on YouTube would be compromised if your content is harder to be discovered. Yep. And finally, YouTube says this would undermine the creator audience, the bond between the creator and the audience. This attempt by the British government would erode that bond that creators have with their community. Now, I want to say one more time, ladies and gentlemen, before anybody freaks out on YouTube here.
It was Sky News Australia, but they're going to take out that GB News, Great Britain News channel, which is a YouTube thing, and they hate what they're doing on there.
YouTube is not perfect, of course. YouTube is not at fault here. Okay, to be very clear, this is the British government coming to YouTube and saying, hey, you need to shut down independent content creators, independent news commentators, whatever, journalists, and instead, we're going to try to legislatively force you to promote our regime-approved news outlets. What is YouTube doing in response? YouTube is pushing back. YouTube is coming out and saying, listen, guys, content creators, audience members, we need help. You guys need to raise your voice and push back against the British government. So this is YouTube, to be clear, pushing back. They're doing the right thing here. They're asking us for help. Now, I want to show you something here because we have a statement on all of this morning from Nigel Farage, who's he's slightly more conservative in the British government. He says this: look at this appalling state censorship, is what Farage says this morning. Labour, that's Keir Starmer's Labour Party, wants to seize control of YouTube's algorithm. They want YouTube to artificially boost the BBC and Channel 4's content.
Social media, in a way, is sort of like the public square now, and they're going to censor it. They're going to censor the public square.
And suffocate independent journalists and producers. The BBC has been biased towards pro-mass migration, open borders, and net zero views these past few decades. It's part of the reason we're in this mess in the first place. The BBC's own internal reports admit and document some of this bias. They're not even hiding it. People have moved to X and YouTube in part as a response to it. And now Labour wants to control what people are seeing on YouTube. We also have a statement here from Rupert Lowe over in the United Kingdom. He comes out, he says, Rupert Lowe, the leader of Restore Britain, has warned that a ban on X.com, is also coming, vowing that if they try it, Restore Britain will fight them in the courts and hold the biggest protest.
So they're going to try to go after Twitter, and they'll work their way down. You know, they got to get their foot in the door, and then they use that for precedent.
London has ever seen. Now, folks, here's the thing. As I said a moment ago, YouTube actually sent out this memo to YouTubers, actually sort of begging for help. They want us to stand up and push back against this draconian British censorship. But just to be clear again, this is not YouTube's fault. In this case, this is not YouTube's fault. I'll tell you what, though. YouTube, they probably cannot do this alone, not even with all of our help. They're probably going to need some sort of direct intervention from the U.S. government, from the Trump administration. And actually, between you and me, if I had to bet, I think that in the very near future, that is actually exactly what we're going to see. I think we will see that happen. I think we will see the Trump administration get involved here and push back against the British government. And the reason why is because
they're already trying to go house to house and censor people for their posts. And that isn't working so great. So now they're trying to do this. They want to control the message.
The last year and a half, the Trump administration has already been pushing back against various forms of Europe.
I think I seen they already arrested over 2,000 people there for their post in England.
European internet censorship. I'll give you a couple examples here.
It's not working.
This is Secretary of State Marco Rubio in December of 2025. He says this 8 months ago, and I quote, "For far too long, ideologues in Europe have led organized efforts to coerce American platforms to punish American viewpoints that they oppose. The Trump administration will no longer tolerate these egregious acts of extraterritorial censorship. Today, the State Department will take steps to ban leading figures of the global censorship industrial complex from entering the United States of America. We stand ready and willing to expand this list if others do not reverse course." Folks, recap here. 8 months ago, the Trump administration's State Department actually banned some of these very censorial European diplomats from even stepping foot in our country, pushing back on them. Okay? Now, Rubio also, in another instance, said this. This was also December of 2025. This is when the European Commission attempted to fine X for not self-censoring. Elon Musk's X.com. Marco Rubio says this. The European Commission's $140 million fine isn't just an attack on X, it's an attack on all American tech platforms and the American people by foreign governments. Rubio says, the days of censoring Americans online are over. So, folks, like I said, the Trump administration, the State Department, they're not going to be tolerating this. And I'll tell you something here. You want to know why all of these European diplomats, why the United Kingdom, the country once known as Great Britain, you want to know why they're attempting to censor all of these America free speech platforms? It's because our America free speech platforms, X and YouTube and otherwise, we are undermining their sort of authoritarian, draconian control of their own people. Because what's been happening is that British people, British patriots, German patriots, Swedish patriots, whatever, all across Europe, they've been posting all types of information, videos, the truth. They've been seeing the truth on X and on YouTube. Thanks to communities like this, thanks to you guys, really, in large part, all over the internet. And those draconian European governments, they are not happy about it. They are pissed off. They want to censor our free speech because their own people are getting exposed to our American conception of free speech. That's why they want to shut this down. And you know the Trump administration is leaning back on it now. As it pertains to all of this, there's a video I absolutely love. I love to show this video every time I have a chance. This is something that J.D. Vance said about a year and a half ago. Okay, right around the time the Trump administration got back in the White House. And I want to play this because it is so true, it's so pertinent, and it is so relevant. Listen to J.D. Vance here. A year and a half ago, he said this.
I really believe that we have a great deal in common with Europe. And I'm not, yes, the Europeans annoy me sometimes. And yes, I disagree with them on certain issues. But we have to remember that is the cradle of Western civilization. The entire idea of Christian civilization that led to the founding of the United States of America, that was formed in Europe. The cultural bonds, the religious bonds, these things are going to last beyond political disagreements. But I think that Europe, and frankly, I would have said this about America a year ago, but Europe is at risk, I think, of engaging in civilizational suicide. They are unable to, or unwilling, too many countries to control their borders. You see them starting to push back against that, and good, that's a good thing. You see them starting to limit the free speech of their own citizens, even as those citizens are protesting against things like the border invasion that got Donald Trump and a number of European leaders elected. So look, I want Europe to thrive. I want them to be an important ally. Part of that is going to be Europe respecting its own people, respecting its own sovereignty, and America can't do that job for them. If you have a country like Germany, where you have another few million immigrants come in from countries that are totally culturally incompatible with Germany, then it doesn't matter what I think about Europe. Germany will have killed itself, and I hope they don't do that because I love Germany and I want Germany to thrive.
Now, folks, you might remember here in the 2024 election, we'll call it big tech. Big tech, who did they support? In the 2024 presidential election, did big tech, did they support Kamala Harris or did they support President Trump? They supported President Trump. You had Zuckerberg and you had Jeff Bezos and you had Elon Musk. They all supported, all of them. They all supported President Trump in his campaign endeavor. And why? It's because they know that, listen, if the U.S. government, whoever's running the government, if the U.S. government does not stand up in defense of our American free speech online platforms, who will? Nobody will. They saw the writing on the wall. Elon Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, they all saw the writing on the wall. They realized that if the U.S. government does not stand up and protect their websites, their free speech platforms, free speech in some cases, then nobody will. Then Facebook, before you know it, Facebook is going to be operating at the whims of some authoritarian operating out of Brussels. Okay? Nobody wants that. That's why a lot of them supported Trump, and now Trump is standing up. Thank God. Listen. Thank God we have a president in the White House actually standing up for this stuff. And not just for us, but also for the patriotic Europeans trying to save their own countries. Thank God. Listen, Trump is doing them a big service. Seriously, he is. Thank God for it. Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what happens here, we're going to keep on putting America first.
Yeah, amen. They've been censoring me. YouTube does censor already. They want them to do even more, ridiculously more. All right, here's what's happening to Christians in Syria. Funded by the Iranian regime. This is how these people got in power. If they get your guns, that's what they can do. I swear. All right, here's a little kid and the grown-ups, all these new illegals that have moved in, and the grown-ups are pushing these kids to beat up the other kid. In the end, they do pull them off, so they don't let them kill them, but they push them to kill them, beat them up. He's telling them to beat them up. See? And let me rewind that a little bit. You see how the guy is holding on to the kid so he can't get away? He's telling him, come and beat him up. See? Even the bigger kid, too. See the big kid?
You fight! You want to fight? You see? Muhtaret! Just give up! Muhtaret! You see? You see? No more time for these kids. I promise. Oh, kids here.
Yeah, he really sounded British, didn't he? Not so much. If you ask me. I don't know. Oh, it's so annoying.
Happy 250th America. Or, as our elbows up crowd in Ottawa seems to think, happy day of economic aggression. It's been quite a year for Canada-US relations, hasn't it? Our government has spent the last 12 months teaching us that every problem in our lives is just a side effect of living next door to a superpower. High fuel prices? Not our taxes, it's the tariffs. Grocery prices? It's not our supply chain or inflation, it's the trade war. We've turned boycotting into a national sport. We pulled American wine and spirits off the shelves like it was the plague, acting like a few bottles of bourbon were the reason our housing market is collapsing. It's a masterclass in distraction. Why fix the internal policy when you can just point south and scream, it's their fault? And then there's the man himself, Mark Carney. While the Elbows Up crew is out there boycotting American goods and pretending the border is a fortress, our PM is busy taking the stage in New York City. He's pitching Canada Strong, a bold new strategy to make make Canada great? No, he's offering up our pension funds to attract U.S. investment. It's a fascinating dynamic. Tell the Canadian public that the U.S. is the source of all our misery, then fly to Wall Street to offer them our retirement savings as an investment opportunity. He doesn't live in the official residence at 24 Sussex, he's got his own arrangements. He knows exactly where the global money is. And let me tell you, it isn't in a boycott of American beer. They tell you that tariffs are the reason your wallet is empty. But look at the math. Tariffs are taxes on imports, yes, but the Bank of Canada has admitted that the pass-through of those costs to your final price tag is only part of the story. The rest of the pain? That's our own domestic policy, our own regulatory overhead, and our own lack of investment. We're burning bridges with our biggest trading partner while our own economy is desperate for capital. We're rejecting bids from U.S. companies and doubling tolls on commercial vehicles, then wondering why the cost of everything on the shelf is going up. So, on this 4th of July, let's tip a glass, a Canadian one, of course, to the greatest irony in North American history. We're busy resisting the U.S. while our leadership tries to mortgage our future to them. The Elbows Up crowd wants you to think this is about sovereignty. But it's not. It's about the optics of an economic war that only hurts the people sitting at the dinner table. If Canada is going to be strong, maybe we should start by being honest about where the money is actually going. Happy 250th, America. Thanks for watching. Stay awake.
Yep. Now, we had people taking down American flags and putting up the Palestinian flag. Watch this. They're cheering. That one's a UN flag. Pretty sick, right? That's what my thinking is.
Donald Trump wants to open 401ks to the same alternative investments used by rich people, trusts, and university endowments, from pre-IPO companies to real estate trusts, which could boost the average middle-class 401k by $150,000, passing $700,000 at retirement. Democrats naturally are blocking it because the current two-tier system keeps the good stuff for their donors and rains fees on the law firms who run the velvet rope. In March, Trump's Department of Labor proposed a rule change, so-called PTE 774, to allow regular people to invest their 401ks the same way as millionaires, accredited investors. The idea being getting rich is not only for people who are already rich. Compounded, this could add 20 to 30% to your 401k at retirement. Democrats pounced. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren recycled the standard line that normies are too dumb to invest, despite the fact 401ks have been around for 40 years, and those normies have generated an average 5x return, $10 trillion, while the government alternative, Social Security, was going bust. So the background here is current 401k rules were written in the Carter administration in a world where the good stuff was generally in public markets. So you could buy Microsoft for $21 in 1986, watch it go to 8,000 split adjusted, and hand your kids generational wealth even if you did not start out rich. You could buy Amazon at $18, that's now 58,000 split adjusted. The idea was keep normies out of the weird stuff since the good stuff is in the stock market anyway. The problem is that all changed with two big laws, the 1990s Markets Improvement Act that made it easier to raise money as a private company, then the 2002 Sarbanes-Oxley Act that made it much harder to be a public company. Combined, these led to an explosion of private equity and a collapse of new listings on the stock market. To illustrate, IPOs, initial public offerings, when a company first lists on the stock market, dropped by almost 2/3 as a percent of GDP. Worse, when companies do list, they do it much later. You're not buying startups, you're buying a mature company that has already been pre-chewed by the rich for a decade. To illustrate, when Yahoo and Amazon went public in the 90s, they averaged just over $1 billion market cap on day one, ultimately hitting $3 trillion combined. Fast forward 20 years, and Facebook, Airbook, and Alibaba also topped at $3 trillion, but they started on average at $200 billion. So normies got them 200 times later. But different, in the 1990s, retail investors got to ride 99% of gains. It was actually 99.95%.
That's why the people in Congress make so much money on their investments. They know what's going to go up and down.
For Amazon. Nowadays, institutional investors and millionaires are legally reserved almost all the juice. You get to pick the bones. So what's next, brought to you by the Bitcoin Way. Wealth inequality is exploding in America, with the richest 10% now accounting for these rules that rope off most of that pump for millionaires. Trump's rules keep the same oversight and fiduciary duty the industry already uses for rich people's money, but it throws open the gates for normies to make money the way rich people make money. Listen to all last week's videos in a single 20-minute podcast. Search Peterson Lounge wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Yep.
Have you ever wondered why Islam seems to side with the leftist agenda? I'll tell you. They will use democracy to install Muslim mayors in your city. They will use democracy to install Muslim judge in your court. They will use democracy to install Muslim council members. They will use democracy to install Muslim politicians. They will use democracy to install a Muslim prime minister. And after everything is done, they will use that to uninstall democracy. And it's spot on.
Well said, for a young person especially. All right, here there's they've been getting Somalians. This is happening in England now too, who are killing dogs and animals and cooking them in these pits, like little fire pits.
Ballymun here.
I believe that Somalians cooked the dog up here. 3 of them. This lad's opening it up now. See what's going on. Oh my god. What is it? What? Fuck hell. Looks like a dog, doesn't it?
I don't know if they actually ate it. I think they just hate dogs and they killed the dog. They burn it to death.
Holy shit. Dirty
And you want
bastards.
more
Fucking
Somalians
Somalians
to
after
come
killing
in?
a fucking dog up here in Ballymun. Dirty bastards. The fucking smell of the thing. Oh my god. There's some Shan gang in the field, as you can see here. Absolute file. What we're letting into this fucking country. Gonna get sick. Over and out.
I'm not even sure they ate them. I think they just burned them because the Muslim thing, you know?
Anyone that's followed me for a while knows I absolutely, with a passion from the bottom of my heart, hate communists. Like, literally hate you guys. Like, it's a deep-seated disdain for communists. Now, before you get into my comment section, you're like, do you even know what communism is without using ChatGPT? Yeah, kurva. I was born in former Yugoslavia. That was a socialist communist. Now, it wasn't as strict as the Soviets or East Germany or even China in the early days, but I know what communism is. But I don't think your Western ass that has never left a Western ass knows what actual communism looks like and how it slowly creeps into policies. Now, this is a message for that ma'am dummy, that piece of garbage in New York, who basically just called Americans racist and insists that Islam and Muslims and minorities freaking built this country and pretty much disregarded.
You can go pee up a rope on that one.
History and is trying to change it. That's what communists do. Now, he's going to claim that it's racism because he's brown and I'm white, but it's not. You see, man, dummy, you don't belong in the United States or anywhere in the West, not because of your skin color, but it's because you are a Muslim parasite with communistic tendencies and you're trying to usher that into the West. You guys don't belong in the West because of your ideologies. Nowhere in the West. I don't care where. And the fact that you have subdued most of the Western population, about half of them, to hate themselves, to be completely unproductive pieces of shit, and then bitch about it and want to take, from those who have and give it to the have-nots as if they would know what to do with money because they didn't work for it. They just want to take. That is the problem. And that is the problem with most of you, like Elon Omar, and also all of the fucking losers in Canada who turned Canada the way it is. If you go on any of my pages, specifically X, and you see how Canadians behave towards each other and how much they hate each other, especially if somebody's doing better than them, that is that communistic mindset that they will first put into your brains before they usher in any policies. Because in Canada, people celebrate when policies get put in place that hurt other people. You want to know why? Because they're losers. They were born losers. They will always be losers. And they think that they will get out of the loser wheel if they can take from those who have. So, man, dummy, this is a freaking message.
Well, the eastern part of the country is much more socialist, not as much the west.
To you. Why don't you and your stupid ass rat-faced wife go back to wherever the fuck you guys came from, like Uganda for you, and she grew up in Syria, or her parents did, and then try that shit over there instead of coming to the West and dictating to us how we should live and how we should feel. Okay? Because I escaped communism twice now in my life. Once from Yugoslavia and the second time from Canada. And let me tell you, if this is the hill I will die on, it will be that hill.
Yeah, he knows what socialism really is. All right, this is about colonizers, slaves, and oppressors.
They told you a story about who you are and where you come from. Colonizers, slavers, oppressors, and you were supposed to...
They push all this crap in our schools on their kids. If you're white, you're an oppressor. You're a colonizer.
...feel ashamed, not for anything you did, but for who you are. So let's not argue with the story. Let's test it. Britain wrote everything down. Let's open the books and see for ourselves. Start with the obvious question. While all of this was supposedly being done in their name, who actually were your ancestors? Here's who they were. In the year Britain banned the slave trade, Fewer than 1 man in 10 could vote, and no woman could. Your ancestors could hang for stealing a sheep. For petty theft, they could be shipped across the world, and 160,000 of them were. Their children were down the mines at 8 years old, and in the mills before dawn. And in Manchester, the average age of death in a labouring family was 17, driven down by the children who never grew up. So whatever the powerful were doing, understand this first. Your ancestors were not the ones doing it. They were also underneath it. And that is what makes what happened next extraordinary. Because when word reached those same people of what slavery actually was, of 800,000 human beings in chains under their own flag, they went to war with it. And they had no vote, no army, and no seat in parliament. They fought with what they had, a courtroom. In 1772, an enslaved man named James Somerset was carried to London in chains, and an English court ruled that English law could not hold a slave. He walked out free. A kitchen. In 1791, 300,000 families simply stopped buying slave sugar. Not a march, not a riot. A decision made at over 300,000 tables. A signature. In 1792, 519 petitions hit Parliament, carrying 390,000 names, and most of those hands had no vote. A signature was the only voice the law allowed them, so they used it, year after year, until Parliament could not hold the line. In 1807, Britain banned the slave trade. The people had moved the government's hand, and when the slave owners demanded a price for the 800,000 they still held, it was those same people who paid it. £20 million. Around 40% of the government's entire annual budget, a debt the Treasury says was not cleared until 2015. So if your family paid British taxes before 2015, your family helped buy the world its freedom. And here is the part to hold on to. When Britain paid, it wrote down every claim, 46,000 of them, in a country of 24 million people. The slave owners are a list, a real one. You can search it today. Your ancestors are not on it. They are on the other side of the ledger, with the millions who paid to close it. Then Britain did something no nation had ever done. It went after slavery everywhere. From 1808, the Royal Navy kept a squadron off West Africa with one order: stop the slave trade. Over 60 years, it stopped 1,600 slave ships and freed 150,000 people at sea. Around 1,600 sailors died doing it, most of them of disease. Dockers' sons, weavers' sons, sewn into sailcloth and buried 4,000 miles from home. The owners got a ledger. The sailors got the sea. They did not stop at Africa. For centuries, Barbary corsairs had taken Europeans from their own villages and sold them in North Africa. In 1816, the Royal Navy sailed to Algiers and ended it. When Brazil kept the trade running, the Navy burned the slave ships where they lay. When a king in Lagos kept selling people, Britain removed him. When American cotton picked by slaves reached Lancashire, the mill workers chose to starve rather than spin it. And in 1896 came the last act, a war in Zanzibar that lasted 38 minutes. The next year, slavery was abolished by decree. Today, almost every nation on earth outlaws slavery. Where it survives, it hides. That fight is not over. But the world that fights it had to be built. And it was built largely at British expense, and largely by British hands. The hands of people who never owned anyone. So why have you never heard this? Because within living memory, the story was rewritten. The trade stayed in the textbooks, and it should be there, but the war against it was cut. You were taught the crime, and never the cure, the shame, and never the price your family paid to put it right. But the record does not care what the story says. The record says the world that outlawed slavery was forced into being by ordinary British people. School teachers, weavers, miners, and sailors in their sailcloth, 4,000 miles from home. The powerful exploited the world. They exploited their own people first, and it was those people who ended slavery. You were taught the shame, never the pride. They wrote your ancestors out of the story. We teach what they want you to forget, story by story, name by name. Find out more at proudofus.co.uk/support. Be part of us. Be proud of us.
I thought that was a good one. And I'm sure there's one on America where he fought a civil war over this. I know, pretty bad.
Hello there, you're through to the left wing. Tony speaking. How can I help?
Hello. Yeah, my name's Andrew, and I'd like to join the left wing, please.
Well, that's lovely to hear, Andrew.
Yes, well, I've always voted Conservative, but what with everything going on, I fancied a change.
Great. Well, we're a broad church.
That's what I heard.
Sure. I just have a few questions for you, sir, just to determine which faction you're going to be in.
What's this now?
Oh, it's just for our records.
Righto.
Okay, immigration, good thing or bad thing?
Oh, well, it's overly simplistic, but it clearly brings huge benefits to our nation.
Very good, sir.
But obviously there needs to be some consideration given to...
Ooh.
What?
Nothing. Now, are you pro-Palestinian, would you say?
Oh, wow. Well, I certainly support the Palestinians' right to self-determination and a peaceful existence.
I'll pop you down as an anti-Semite then, sir.
But I'm actually Jewish.
Okay, maybe some internalised anti-Semitism there. What about trans rights, sir?
Well, trans rights are human rights, aren't they? It all seems very simple.
Right, so you're anti-women's rights then?
Not at all. I mean, they're not mutually exclusive, are they?
I'm not sure what to do with that. Are you sure you don't want to take a hardened position on something you don't really understand? Look, I'll just put you down as a TERF, just in case.
What's a TERF?
Now, Andrew, I do need to decide exactly what category of the left to put you in.
Do we have to? It seems a bit restrictive.
Well, you'll need to know for Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter.
You're not on Twitter? Right, all right, which left-wing leaders do you like, then?
Well, I was a big fan of Tony Blair, and I was always impressed by Neil Kinnock.
You like both of them? You can't do that, Andrew.
Hang on. You said the left wing was a broad church.
Oh, yes, it is. It's a very broad church. It's just split into hundreds of very narrow congregations.
Look, this is ridiculous, okay? All I want is a left-wing government, okay? What I want is to get the Tories out of power.
That's not the aim of the left wing, sir.
Well, what is?
Well, we fight amongst ourselves until everyone is too tired to fight anymore. Then once that happens, hopefully someone on our side wins an election. Look, I need to put you into a category. So let's try some word association, Andrew, okay? I want you to say the first thing that comes into your head.
Okay.
Keir Starmer.
A man.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Jam.
Marx.
And Spencer.
Oh, for God's sake. Look, you're defying all my best efforts to put you into some kind of category.
Look! I'm not bothered about all of that. All I want is a government that looks after the most vulnerable, takes climate change seriously, supports small business, runs good public services, and is free of corruption.
Well, why don't you just join the Lib Dems then?
Well, I'm not going to join the bloody Lib Dems, am I?
Well, of course not. No one ever joins the Lib Dems.
Well, at least we agree on something.
Colin, I think things are worse over there, if you ask me. I don't know. Just saying.
I can tell you exactly why Democrats are freaking out over having the 10 Commandments taught in schools, and it has nothing to do with the separation of church and state. God knows they love religion. It's because each of the commandments gets in their way when they're indoctrinating your children. 1. You shall have no gods before me. They don't want kids asking questions about God. They want the government to be God, the God we go to for everything: food, shelter, mental health, medicine, education, everything. 2, you shall not worship false idols or gods. They want kids to idolize their own feelings and their own sexuality. I mean, hey, some of them even want the children to worship the teacher's sexuality. It's getting nuts. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. They don't want kids to be respectful to God. Satan is their homeboy. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Nothing is holy. Nothing is sacred to these people, not even your child's innocence. They don't want kids thinking anything is worthy of reverence. Honor your father and mother. They want kids to believe that their mother and father are the problem. We'll take care of you. We'll be your family. Your parents got your gender wrong when you were born. They don't
250 years ago, yeah.
That's what they're telling them. You shall not murder. This one might cause people to think for themselves about a which is now being taught to little kids. You shall not commit adultery. They want kids to sleep around, explore orgies, fall in love with porn. Don't believe me? Read this book that's in middle schools across America. You shall not steal. Dems want kids to think other people's property is theirs for the taking. Full-blown socialism is what we're going for here. You shall not lie. We wouldn't want kids thinking that when Bobby says his name is Susie, that he might be lying, would we? Truth doesn't matter anymore. You shall not covet. This one gets in the way of equity indoctrination. You should take what you want from anyone. You have the right to it. And that, my friends, is why the Democrats are against the 10 Commandments in schools.
Absolutely.
Good morning. Happy morning after America's birthday and that amazing, spectacular firework display that Trump put on last night while all the liberals wished for fucking rain. Too bad. He wins again. 3-0 against storms. But here's what you'll see on the news today. If you haven't already, the left wing influencers are going fucking apeshit. They are jizzing all over this picture because this group of people who are white nationalists, whatever they want to be, is surrounding this black girl who seems very unharmed. Now, compare it to this. I mean, big difference.
I wonder in that picture if all those ones doing that are if they aren't Southern Law Property Center or feds.
Difference, but actually the same thing. You want to know why? Because these are both results of democratic policies, and I will explain it to those who still don't get it. This fucking crime is horrible. They don't jail criminals, and that's what happened to that.
The one on the left wasn't a crime. They didn't do anything to that lady.
That girl. Now, the media didn't care about that, but they're going to care about this. This is all they're going to post today. She doesn't look harmed. She doesn't look scared. She looks like this photo was set up. Probably by the same people who fund this group and the KKK and all these white supremacy groups. Just
exactly my thoughts.
To keep you fucking obedient. SPLC, just to keep y'all obedient. They want you oppressed. Keep believing it. Keep fucking believing it. It's I don't even know. If you can't see through this shit, it's predictable at this point. It's predictable. You know why? These guys, whoever they are, the right doesn't even agree with them. We think they're all feds. These guys just march.
They are. I've run into them before.
March openly with their masks on. Where's Antifa? Where's BLM? You want to fight people? Stop fucking bothering grannies in MAGA hats. Stop bothering gays like me who don't want to castrate children. Go fight them. Go fight them. You won't. You won't because you know they're paid by your party. Get fucked.
Amen on that. Oh, here's some fireworks for you. Someone did a home version. This looks like it was very dangerous. Watch this. Look at that. It's insane. That was insane. It's a wonder it didn't blow up or catch on fire next to each other, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, if you ask me. All right, here's what Muslims do with puppies. Watch this. When they see puppies.
يلا اسمعي كده انا هروح اطلعهم مع بره اعمل لي كاميرا كده هروح الشقه.
There's no way those puppies can get out of there. They're gonna die in there if nothing's done. All right, here's a little bit about the land of the free. Muslims are talking about getting rid of all the dogs on earth. All dogs. I want to make sure I got that in a little after 4th here. I didn't get everything in. I wanted to do on the 4th. I thought that was a pretty good one to bring in after the 4th. Now watch this dog. Speaking of dogs, watch how smart this dog is. It's a real short clip, but he's a little beggar. Watch how smart this dog is.
What's up?
I thought that was pretty cool. All right, here's someone that was debating a Christian, debating a Muslim about the Netherlands, and he was calling them colonizers and all that kind of crap. Watch how much he lies and then gets caught in his lies.
And we will make this Muslim country.
You're gonna make no sound.
So
why do you live in Holland? Why don't you live in a Muslim country?
And
let me try it again. Let me close it.
You're gonna make.
I don't know if I lost the sound here. Hold on.
And we will make this Muslim country.
Are you getting sound on your end?
Why do you live in Holland? Why don't you live in a Muslim country?
Let me know in chat.
Because we doesn't have Islamic country. Do you understand that?
Oh, you don't have Islamic countries in the world? No Islamic countries.
No. I have the Syrian passport.
No, but why don't you live there? Why are you living in Western world?
That's none of your business.
No, I'm interested. I want to why are you living in a country that doesn't have your culture?
You are just questioning questions, and you don't want to hear the answer.
Why don't you want to live in a Muslim country?
Oh, you're missing a good debate.
Live in Holland or whatever. Why?
I want to live in Islamic country.
But Holland is not Islamic country.
Can you hear it on your end?
Always lie. Why do you lie?
Why are you just talking when I'm talking, man?
If you love Muslims so much, go live in a Muslim country. No, you go live in Holland.
You know, the city where I live here in the Netherlands, more than 50% of the people here are Muslim.
Where did they come from?
Well, different
Muslim countries, right?
And we will make this Muslim country.
You're gonna make so you're gonna make it Muslim.
So
do you want to make the whole world Muslim? So you are a colonizer. You're a colonizer. And you want to make Holland also. You little liar. I got you now.
You have to be colonized.
I got you now, and I'm going to make you famous.
We have to be colonized now.
You're going to make Holland Muslim, and you telling me for an hour and a half that you are not a colonizer, that you didn't take over the whole world. Why are you guys such liars, huh? Go back to your Muslim country. Takia, huh? Takia is to lie, huh?
You were saying that Israel is mentioned in the Quran a few times.
Why do you want to make the whole world Muslim?
I don't want to make the whole world
You just
Muslim.
said we're gonna make this country Muslim.
No, you are just making me angry.
I'm making you angry. You can't control yourself, so the truth comes out. You people are all the same. All the same. And we're gonna make you famous, and we're gonna let everybody know that you want to make your country Muslim.
And we are coming.
You are coming, huh?
We are coming. You can't get any conversation. You don't have any information.
I already got what I wanted. I already got what I wanted.
You're just childish.
He hung up on him.
The FBI called me last night and told me that the Muslims want to kill me. But the truth is, they want to kill you and anyone who believes in scriptures other than the Quran. And that includes the Jews, the Christians, the Hindus, and even the dragon believers like Joe Rogan. Michigan just gave Muslim terrorists official police badges so they can arrest anyone who doesn't submit to Islamic law. I am putting my life on the line to protect the American way of life. So help me get to Congress by praying for me. And if you have the means, please donate to my campaign, because resistance to tyranny comes with consequences, but so does submission. And I will never bow down to their stupid walk and their false prophets. So join me on this fight, because Islam has no place in Texas. Jesus is king.
I've had her on my channel before a couple times. What does everyone think about me having her back on? I know some people are kind of controversial because she's very strict conservative person. Let me know in the chat there if you want me to bring her back on. Colin, I'll catch up on your I'm going to end here with Karen Kennedy. I got just enough time to get her in here about being proud to be American.
July 3rd message. Wow, America's sesquicentennial, 250 years of kicking ass. We are celebrating 250 years independent of the monarchy, the crown, the king. Oh yeah, by the way, remember not too long ago when the Democrats overwhelmingly stood up, every last single one of them, and gave a standing ovation to King Charles, who came over here to beg President Trump for money because Europe is broke, the EU is broke, NATO is broke, Europe is broke. They're suffering, so they need this capitalist money that they can't stand. But, you know, I am proud to be an American citizen. I have to take it further and say citizen now, because you Democrats and rhinos, of course, y'all have mucked it up so bad over the last 50, 60 years that I have to specify that I'm a citizen. My ancestors were slaves. So, you know, I've been here. I have blood and iron in this soil. I have sacrificed it to a degree that most people don't understand. Okay, for my country. I love my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing. Okay, so I would love to just be completely happy about the 4th. The 4th has always been a big deal around my house with growing up, because my little brother, his birthday is the 4th. So it was always a really big deal. It was a big, big, big celebration. We would just go all out because it was my little brother's birthday. He was born on the 4th of July. But we got so many problems. We were invaded by foreign forces from 2021 to 2024 under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. 80% military age dudes broke in here, got lavish military benefits, pregnant bitches all over the place, having their anchor babies, destroying the country, stealing our money, Somali pirates with their leering centers. Man, we have been through some shit, and we're going through it again. This is the republic that we bequeathed, if we can keep it. Can't sit on your ass, I tell you what, because these communists will just take it. One just got elected to, well, at least through the primary, beat out a 15-term, 30-year Democrat who thought she was safe in that district. Another Joe Crowley situation, who got beat out by AOC in the 14th District of New York. Another communist. These are communists. These are not socialists, democratic socialists. These are communists. And they are trying to take over. They got a little wind in their sails, and now they think, ooh. So we are at a very strange juxtaposition in this country where we're having to fight again to restore Americanism and pure Americana to this nation. This is not a nation of fucking immigrants. This is a nation of American citizens. And when you are a true American, even if you are an immigrant who came here, third generation, whatever, they don't wear it every single fucking minute of the day like Zorhan Mandami, Muhammad expects people to. In that little speech, you know, it's just ridiculous. I'm tired of being lectured to by foreigners. I'm tired of individuals like Rashida Tlaib saying she's too busy to celebrate the 4th because she's fighting fascism. No, you need to find a gym, okay? And you and them big bubble-ass soup coolers you call lips and that ugly red lipstick bitch, you can go right back to where your shithole originations that you love so much, and your family, you're probably an anchor baby born here. So damn you, Supreme Court. I'm about the point where I'm like, no more women on the Supreme Court. Sick of these bitches and their bracelet jingling, I think of the children, and crying about these. These people who should not even be here. If you don't love this country, you don't need to be here. We have plenty of Europeans who have come here for the FIFA soccer tournaments that are so enthralled. They get free refills on drinks. Something so simple that we take for granted. They're so happy. Glad to see these videos, but I need to make sure y'all bitches go home when it's time for you to go home. You done came here, you been to Buc-ee's, you been to Waffle House, you been to Walmart, you been to Costco. Make sure you on them planes, trains, and automobiles and going your ass right back to your country when these FIFA soccer tournaments is over. And it can't be over soon enough. See, I can't even be happy about that to a full degree because we've been so badly abused. It's a bad abusive relationship. We have been badly abused, and I'm over it. I'm just over the whole immigrant. Yeah, okay, whatever. What about us? What about veterans who can't get the services and the benefits that they fought for? Yeah, and we're supposed to talk about immigrants every 5 fucking minutes? I don't care. I don't care. I literally don't care. So, Jill.
Marianne, they're going to expand the Supreme Court so they can get more on.
This is America, okay? And a lot of people have fought very, very hard to make sure that we still have even a sliver of a chance to continue to be the republic that was bequeathed to us. We better start acting more like we're in the fight for our lives and the fight for the republic, because we actually are.
I agree, Tammy. I agree. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night. God bless. Happy 250th. All right. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow, probably at 5, unless something comes up, but I should be on. Take care. 5 Eastern.